Hello and welcome to YNWA Transfer News, your ultimate source for all Liverpool FC transfer news. Our first news is this. Alan Shearer and Micah Richards on same page with damning Virgil van Dijk verdict. Ibrahima Konate has been criticized for his performances at the start of the season, but Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk has now been brought into the argument too. Against Brentford, Liverpool conceded 3 times, including from a long throw. Though Milos Kerkez and Mohamed Salah both scored, the Reds never really looked convincing, with Arne Slot suggesting at the final whistle that it was the worst performance of the 4-game Premier League losing streak. The 2 center halves, they are all over the place, Alan Shearer said on the Rest is Football podcast. They've been terrible, and they were at Brentford. They were awful, both of them, Van Dijk and Konate. They were, Micah Richards agreed. And I think what we're seeing now is Van Dijk needs help. How many times in previous seasons has Van Dijk bailed them out? You look at partnerships, and we've always talked about Van Dijk and how good he is. He needs Konate to bail him out at the moment, and that's not happening. So you have 2 center halves not playing well at the same time. Liverpool won in the Champions League against Eintracht Frankfurt last Wednesday, but that form didn't translate into its domestic form. The Reds were dismal in West London. Asked for his take on the result and performance, Slot was blunt with his verdict on what went wrong. Doing the basics right, he said. Although if you are 1-0 down, 2-0 down, 3-1 down with the energy in the stadium, that is definitely helpful for them. And they are a very good team in winning duels and winning second balls. So you have to give them credit for that as well. But of course it is hard to win a game of football if the other team wins more duels, more second balls than you, especially if that is also something they are playing off. Again, like I've said many times, it's also difficult to win a game of football if the set-piece balance is in their favor. On conceding from a long throw, Slot was equally clear with his feelings. It's the only thing we did yesterday on the training pitch. Preparing for that and the meeting today, Slot said. That's not the only thing we prepared them for. Because Brentford are also known for very good set pieces, but they are also, in my opinion, known for a fantastic counterattack, and that was their second goal. I think at this moment of time, and that's why it should never be seen as an excuse. But if I say it was a soft penalty, I hope you guys are not going to tell me that is a bad excuse, but it was a very soft penalty to concede. Jurgen Klopp's 3-word Liverpool remark may have Arne Slot concerned. The heat is intensifying. On Arne Slot following Liverpool's 5th loss in 6 matches on Saturday, former boss Jurgen Klopp's recent comments will now be ringing in the ears of supporters and Slot himself. As the German confessed when discussing a potential Anfield comeback, it is possible. Liverpool's emphatic 5-1 victory over Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League last week turned out to be a misleading glimpse of form, as the Reds were comfortably dismantled by Brentford in a 3-2 reverse on Saturday. The loss to the Bees follows setbacks against Crystal Palace, Chelsea and Manchester United domestically, plus an away defeat to Galatasaray in Europe. Slot and his squad must now confront the harsh reality that the reigning Premier League champions find themselves significantly adrift of the title challenge, just 9 fixtures into the fresh campaign. While the season moves ahead, and Liverpool undoubtedly has sufficient time to bridge the 7-point deficit separating them from Mikel Arteta's Arsenal, even the most devoted fan would acknowledge that the Reds' issues appear as intricate as the Gunners currently seem formidable. The Dutch tactician retains considerable goodwill following his remarkable championship triumph in his debut campaign, and there's no suggestion Slot's role faces jeopardy. Nevertheless, football moves rapidly and loyalties shift quickly, and Klopp's observations about potentially returning to Anfield have undeniably stirred controversy as the pressure continues to build. Klopp left Anfield following 9 years in charge at the conclusion of the 2023-24 campaign, having revealed his intention to depart in January 2024. The Premier League and Champions League winning manager had explained that he was running out of energy. When questioned about whether he might one day return to Liverpool on the Diary of a CEO podcast, Klopp responded, "I said I will never coach a different team in England. So that means if I did return, then it's Liverpool. So, yeah, theoretically it is possible. Discussing what circumstances might tempt him back to the Anfield dugout, he added, "I don't even know exactly. I love what I do now. I don't miss coaching. I do coach, but it's just different. It's not players." He continued, "I don't miss it. I don't miss standing in the rain for 2.5 or 3 hours. I also don't miss going to press conferences 3 times a week. Having 10 or 12 interviews a week, I don't miss that. I don't miss being in the dressing room. I coached around 1,080 games, so I was in the dressing room very, very often. I don't want to die in the dressing room. It's these kind of things. I'm 58. From your perspective, that might be old, but from other perspectives, it's not that old. That means I could make a decision in a few years. I don't know. Do I have to make a decision today? I will not coach again, but thank God I do not have to do that. I can just see what the future brings." Klopp's break from soccer proved brief, as he accepted the role of Red Bull's global head of soccer at the start of 2025. He has also taken on a position with the German Football League, indicating he has no immediate plans to return to management. Slot's remarks following the loss at the G-Tech Community Stadium will have sent waves of anxiety through the Liverpool fan base. The Reds fell victim to Michael Coyote's long throw during the opening period, contributing to an increasing tally of set-piece goals they have shipped this campaign. Slot has admitted he remains nowhere near discovering a solution. "Quite a few things," he said in his post-match press conference when asked for the reasons behind his team's recent woes. "It is definitely that teams have a certain playing style against us. It is a very good strategy to play. We have not found an answer yet." Liverpool's next fixture sees it host Palace in a Carabao Cup encounter at Anfield on Wednesday. The match will provide scant relief for Slot, given Oliver Glasner's Eagles have already defeated Liverpool in the Community Shield and at Selhurst Park in the Premier League this term. Will be selected. Arne Slot set to hand out Liverpool debut in midweek Carabao Cup clash. The Liverpool starting 11 to face Crystal Palace in the Carabao Cup on Wednesday night is expected to have at least one debutant. It's the 4th of 7 games in the space of 22 days for a Reds side who've fallen off the pace in the Premier League after losing their last 4 matches in the division, so Arne Slot is likely to shuffle the pack for what remains the lowest priority competition at this stage of the season. There was an LFC debut in the previous round against Southampton last month for Giovanni Leone, but sadly his night ended with a sickening ACL injury, which has ruled him out for the foreseeable future. Freddie Woodman set for Liverpool debut. Paul Gorst has been looking ahead to the Palace game for the Liverpool Echo, and as he analyzed the Merseysiders' potential starting 11th for Wednesday, he immediately flagged a probable debut between the sticks. He wrote, "Freddie Woodman will make his Reds debut in goal." With Alisson Becker sidelined with that hamstring issue, Georgi Mamardashvili has been first choice in recent weeks. So Woodman, who joined in a low-key free transfer in the summer, will be selected to deputize on the night. Woodman mightn't be the only unfamiliar face in the Liverpool eth. Woodman may have seemed a surprising addition when Liverpool snapped him up on a free in June, but he provides a homegrown squad option who boasts the experience of 278 senior career appearances. The 28-year-old has been on the bench for 7 games already this season, including each of the last 5 in all competitions, transfer marked. And Slot probably won't want to risk an injury to Mamardashvili while Alisson remains sidelined. The Reds can't afford to be too flippant about Wednesday night amid their current struggles. A win of any description would be most welcome after a dreadful month for the Premier League champions. Although the scope for lineup experimentation in this domestic cup fixture is greater than in the subsequent top-flight Champions League games against Aston Villa, Real Madrid, and Manchester City. In a similar vein, the Liverpool head coach could also hand a rare senior appearance to Calvin Ramsey, whose last first-team outing for LFC came in the Carabao Cup against Derby 3 years ago. The 22-year-old was superb for the under-21 side in their thrashing of Everton on Sunday. Neither he nor Woodman are realistically likely to play much of a role for Slot's team this season, but if they're selected to start against Palace in midweek, you can be sure that both will be striving to prove a point to the 47-year-old. At a time when so many regular starters are playing nowhere near their best, Liverpool's desperate defense crisis: sign Mark Guehi this January or face disaster. Liverpool in crisis. Time for a January transfer revolution. In a shocking twist of fate, Liverpool FC finds itself spiraling from glory to turmoil, plummeting from the lofty heights of first place in the Premier League to a disheartening seventh. Following 4 harrowing consecutive defeats, the Reds now trail behind title contenders Arsenal by a staggering 7 points. What once seemed like a promising season has rapidly descended into chaos, and the latest capitulation against Brentford, where Liverpool's defense crumbled under pressure, conceding 3 goals, has left fans and pundits alike reeling. The defensive woes have become a glaring issue, with star defenders Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate under intense scrutiny for their lackluster performances. Former Liverpool player Glenn Johnson has stepped into the fray, voicing his urgent concerns about the club's defensive frailties. Johnson, who knows the club's ethos well, is adamant that the time for action is now, urging Liverpool to make a bold move during the upcoming January transfer window. His eyes are set on Crystal Palace's promising centre-back, Mark Guehi, who could be the key to shoring up the leaky defense at Anfield. Guehi has been a hot topic for a while now, Johnson remarked, emphasizing the urgency of the situation. He possesses all the skills needed to seamlessly integrate into the Liverpool setup. More crucially, he's at the right age to learn and thrive under the mentorship of Van Dijk for the next couple of years. While there are questions regarding Van Dijk's form, the opportunity for Guehi to train and play alongside a seasoned pro could be monumental for his career. The sooner Liverpool signs him, the better. The clock is ticking for Liverpool. As Guehi's contract situation is a ticking time bomb, he is set to become a free agent next summer. This impending availability has generated interest from elite clubs across Europe, including giants like Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, putting pressure on Liverpool to act decisively before they lose out on a potential gem. Johnson's advice is clear. Liverpool cannot afford to wait until summer to snag Guehi for free. They must invest now to rectify their defensive missteps. The stakes are high, and with the Premier League title slipping from their grasp, the Reds must seize this opportunity to bolster their squad. Will Arne Slot heed Johnson's warning and make a strategic, ambitious move in January? The future of Liverpool hinges on it. As fans hold their breath, the message is loud and clear. Liverpool needs action, not words. The time for change is now. Jamie Carragher admits Liverpool in crisis after 4 defeats in a row. Jamie Carragher believes Liverpool are in crisis after the English champions lost their 4th Premier League game in a row on the weekend. Arne Slot's side, who started the season by winning 7 on the trot in all competitions, are now in the midst of their worst run of form since the Dutchman succeeded Jurgen Klopp in the Liverpool dugout ahead of the 2024-25 season. While the thrashing of Frankfurt in the Champions League looked to get the Reds back on track last week, another dismal display at Brentford ended in a 5th defeat in 6 for the league holders. This comes off the back of a summer of record spending for Liverpool, breaking their transfer record twice to sign Alexander Isak and Florian Wirtz, with their total outlay coming to 425 million. Losing 4 games in a row for Brentford would be a disaster. To see the champions do it with the expenditure in the summer means we're in crisis time for Liverpool right now, Carragher told YNWA. There will be a lot of serious questions asked in the dressing room between the players and the coaching staff and the people above the manager. When they've looked at what they've spent, they'll be looking for a lot more. Liverpool have to look at the physicality and height within their team because right now, I don't think they have enough. Liverpool's catastrophic dip in form has coincided with a change in fortunes for Ruben Amorim's Manchester United, who have now leapfrogged their rivals into 6th. Arne Slot's Liverpool remind me a bit of my old man UT team, Gary Neville added on his podcast. We went through mad periods where we always looked capable of scoring, but we were all over the place. One thing you can guarantee with Salah, Ekitike, Wirtz, Isak, Gakpo, and others, they will score goals. But the others are responsible for being solid and not open all the time, and exposed. It sounds like starting from scratch, but sometimes you have to do that. When everything is crazy and chaotic, which it is for Liverpool right now, you just have to find a strong foundation. Thank you for watching. Like and comment, subscribe.